Well, we're going to finish over on Disney Plus with a two-part documentary series called Caroline Flack, Search for the Truth. And here is a clip.
Caroline Flack.
One of Britain's most loved presenters.
Has been found dead in her flat.
You don't imagine your daughter's going to be so successful. You just sit back and watch in amazement, really.
Love Island, Strictly, X Factor.
It's the best job in the world.
She was top of her game. The former Love Island presenter has denied charges of assaulting her boyfriend.
We saw the tide turn on her.
Yes, so this was screened to the press towards the end of last week, actually, and some people in our office went and watched it, and there was a real sense after seeing this of just sadness, and of course that's expected, but this sort of delves deeper into this dreadful tragedy. Losing a life, anybody's life, is a tragedy, and this is focused on the very brilliant Caroline Flack, who was a Love Island host. She also hosted a number of other different shows, including X Factor, and she was somebody who was, I suppose, arguably tabloid fodder. You know, she was somebody who made headlines all the time. But this goes kind of deeper than that. I think we all pretty much know the story, or think we know the story. And she had been charged with assaulting her boyfriend, Lewis Burton. They'd had an argument at the London home. This was well kind of documented in the tabloid press, all the presses actually, to be fair. And her mum, Christine, believes that her death was really the result of a perfect storm. Right from the decision to prosecute her rather than issue a caution. She feels that if she was somebody else, perhaps she would have got a caution, to the lies that she feels were printed in the tabloid press. And this two-part documentary shows her mission to fight for answers. And so, as I say, it's desperately sad, because anybody losing their life is absolutely awful. But this is through the lens of a mother who, you know, arguably you should never ever bury your children, isn't that the saying? And that's exactly what she had to do. And she is desperate to, through phones, through voicemail messages, through voice notes, through text messages, she wants to let the public know the truth. She says she's got nothing to lose now. She's sad that she feels there's no redress, but if this in some way goes towards letting people know what really happened, and maybe changing a future for somebody else, then that's what she wants to do. And it's a hard view, I would say, Ian. I think it's a really hard view. I think anyone, whether you're interested in Caroline as a celebrity, as a presenter, or not, is kind of irrelevant. It's just the fight in her mind for justice, and to really get the truth out there, because she thinks people have in their mind what happened when really something else happened altogether. So it's it's very moving. We had a lot of conversations in the office about this. It moved a lot of people who went and watched it. There'll be lots of opinions on this, lots of feelings on this, lots of versions, I'd imagine too. You have to remember that too and keep that in the back of your mind. There are lots of versions, but through her lens and through what she's doing, it's a hard view. What do you think, Ian?
It was very interesting, and yeah, absolutely tragic. I mean, I didn't really watch Caroline Flack as a TV presenter. I wasn't really watching those shows, but it's fascinating to get more of an insight into what she was like. I mean, she just had so much charisma and life, but was a complicated person. You have to say, I mean, there's so many documentaries that we've watched, including the Girl Bands Forever, in which the tabloid press just come out looking absolutely appalling and responsible for terrible things, really. She was hounded by the tabloids, Flack, and being quite a vulnerable person, that was a contributory factor to her committing suicide. Also, there were lies were told about the scene of the crime as well. It suggested that perhaps she was bipolar, because she used to have these great highs, but also terrible lows. And it's really interesting saying that, she liked working really hard because it stopped her thinking about other things. So clearly she had some mental health issues. I mean, she dated some very high profile people, didn't she, including Harry Styles. You get the impression that she didn't always choose her partners well. So it's mentioned that it's suggested that the cause of this fight was because her boyfriend, who was kind of like a low-level professional tennis player, was texting another woman. So, if that's true, she'd picked a wrong one. And I think there'd been some sort of she'd been in another very dramatic relationship before that. There was lots of arguments and, very stormy. And perhaps that was, perhaps she was like that to some extent because of this sort of bipolar type nature. And yeah, you just get the impression that the family tried to raise the issue, that it was clear that as the court case approached, I mean, the boyfriend said, I don't want to prosecute, but you can understand the CPS sometimes does have to go and prosecute in these circumstances. And the family tried to raise the issue that, like, the prospect of this trial is really, really affecting her mental health. They could see it, they could feel it, and yeah, I mean, clearly the mum comes across very well, actually. And her view, which is hard to disagree with, is that this was an avoidable tragedy, and Caroline has been very badly served by various people, but notably the press. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know if I can watch the second part because it's just heartbreaking, really. And there's this lovely archive footage of her. She was so full of life and just, it really is. Yeah, it's a sad, sad story. But
One of the things I would say about the press is there has to be some difference made between the press and social media, because social media is also called media, and the social media is completely unregulated. And how I feel about unregulated social media, and the idea that those trolls were absolutely dreadful, and you cannot underestimate the power of those trolls that celebrities are still facing with utterly no regulation whatsoever. And the other thing, and like I said about the girls bands forever, is where are the people around them looking after them? The press is regulated. A letter needs to go to them to tell them to stand down, stand back. And I would really, really hope that going forward, these people going into the public eye have people around them that can protect them better to stop this from happening, because it doesn't have to happen.